So Uloma was coming out of her room. She stepped on the water, slipped and fell down, landing on her stomach. Uloma screamed. She started bleeding and immediately she became unconscious. Uloma's scream attracted Mazi, who was about going out. He quickly rushed back inside, only to find his wife lying unconscious on her own pool of blood. Immediately, he called for backup and put her in the car. Quickly, he drove her to the hospital. The doctors and nurses battled to revive Uloma. Hours later, she was conscious. One of the doctors came out and asked Mazi to follow him to his office. Mazi was really scared. He asked, "How is my wife?" The doctor assured him that she was now conscious, but the doctor said, "Sir, there is a problem." Mazi was really scared at this stage. He asked, "Doctor, please talk to me. What is it?" The doctor told him that he has to give them permission to operate on his wife. Also, that either the mother or the child will be saved. He was asked to sign home to save. Immediately, Mazi looked at the doctor and said, "Please save my wife. My wife has been my best friend. Life will be meaningless without her. And what is the point of saving a child without the mother? She can always conceive another one. Please save my wife." Immediately, she was prepared for surgery, while Mazi paced around the hospital, worried and praying that Uloma will come back to him safe. Hours later, one of the doctors came out of the theater. Mazi held his shirt and said, "Doctor, where is my wife?" Then the doctor replied and said, "Congratulations, sir. Both mother and son is alive." Mazi couldn't believe what he just heard. He said, "Mother and son?" Doctor told him that they too were too surprised that God did a great miracle. "You have a healthy son, sir. Congratulations again," the doctor said. Few weeks later, Uloma was back home with her baby. The news of her delivery had spread around the community, and so many people were happy for her, except for her co-wife Amaka. The baby was named Miracle. Years passed. Uloma saw Miracle was growing. She made sure she taught him good morals. The boy was growing into that son everyone desired to have: respectful, obedient, hardworking, and very intelligent. Everybody loved Miracle. Amaka, on the other hand, hated him so much. She saw him as a competition for her son. She just wanted Miracle out of the way. She pitched her own son against Miracle. She always tells him that Miracle is not his brother, rather that he was his competitor. That wants to share his father's wealth with him. She made her son hate Miracle too. One day, Amaka planned to finally take Miracle out of the way. She sent her son out to go collect money from a friend. Then she waited for Miracle to return from school. She then asked Miracle to eat the food she kept on the table. Immediately, she quickly went to her neighbor's house, hoping to come back when he had died, so nobody would suspect her. Amaka laced the food with poisonous substance. When Miracle got to where the food was, he suddenly remembered that his mother had told him not to eat her food again. He left the food and went straight to eat what his mother had kept for him. Afterward, he locked himself in his mother's room and slept off. On his way to where his mother had sent him, the sun was so much, so Amaka's son decided to go back home with the intention of going back when the sun had gone down in the evening. He entered the house through another entrance so that his mother wouldn't see him. As he entered the house, the first thing he saw was the food. Meanwhile, Amaka was in her neighbor's house. Another neighbor came in and they exchanged pleasantries. In the process, the neighbor chipped in and said, "Oh, I saw your son as he was about entering your house. He was even the one that told me that you were here." Amaka exclaimed and said, "Ah, you saw my son now?" Immediately, Amaka rushed back to her house. As she stepped into the house, she met her son sitting in front of the plate of food with a spoon in his hand, ready to devour the food. Amaka shouted, "Stop! Don't eat that food!" and she rushed to carry the food immediately. She disposed of it. Amaka went straight into her room, panicking, and she said to herself, "So this is how I would have used my own hands to destroy myself." She advised herself that she just has to stop this fight. She said to herself that she would go visit her sister and inform her that she was tired of fighting. The next morning, Amaka went to Nkechi's house. When she got there, she said, "Sister, I nearly killed my son yesterday." She explained everything that had happened to Nkechi. She told her that the more she tried hurting Uloma, the more she failed. Amaka said, "Sister, I am tired of this whole fight. It is exhausting. Oh. Why am I even fighting? Why am I even fighting who is not fighting me?" Amaka went further to tell Nkechi that she was scared that this whole thing might backfire. Amaka said, "Sister, please, I just want to stop. Ever since I started this fight, I have not had peace of mind. Sister, I am tired though. I don't want to continue again." Immediately, Nkechi said, "You said you want to stop. Ha, Amaka, I pity you. Wait oh, don't you know that Uloma is also fighting to destroy you? That is why all your efforts have not been successful now. If you stop now, Amaka, you are gone," Nkechi said. Amaka now went further to tell her that since all methods they use are not working out, it means that they will have to take this fight to a whole new level. Then Amaka asked, "A new level? Please, what level?" "But what level are you talking about?" Amaka asked. Nkechi said, "Don't worry. Very early tomorrow morning, we are going somewhere." "But what level are you talking about?" Amaka asked. Nkechi said, "Don't worry. Very early tomorrow morning, we are going somewhere." She took her to one Baba who spoke in parables, saying that what goes around comes around. He asked Amaka, "Can you handle the consequence?" Nkechi quickly said yes. He gave her a substance to sprinkle on Uloma's door and told her to see what will happen once Uloma steps on it. They paid, thanked Baba and left. Very early the next day, Amaka sprinkled it at Uloma's door. Immediately Uloma stepped on it and she became mad. Instantly, Mazi seeked for solution everywhere for Uloma's predicament, but all to no avail. Everywhere he took her to for solution, they always spoke to him in parables, saying that what falls a house was inside the foundation of that house. Some will tell him that he is battling with enemy within. He still kept Uloma in the house while taking good care of her. He didn't want her to roam the streets. One day, he had an urgent meeting to travel outside their community for a few days and asked Amaka to watch over her. Amaka doesn't give Uloma food nor medication. Rather, she beats her always, making mockery of her, telling her that she, Amaka, now has the upper hand. Miracle was always beside his mother. Sometimes he begs for food just to feed his mother. He couldn't do much because he was just a child. One day, Nkechi visited Amaka. Then she complained of how the whole house was smelling because of Uloma. She then told Amaka that she should lose Uloma and allow her roam the street, never to come home again. That way, they will completely get rid of her. At first, Amaka didn't want to do it, but Nkechi convinced her anyway, telling her that once Uloma is out of the house, everything Mazi owns will now become completely hers. Later that day, Amaka opened the door, untied Uloma and allowed her run out of the house, and she never returned. Days later, when Mazi came back, he asked of Uloma, but Amaka couldn't give any reasonable answer. He was angry and threatened to throw Amaka out of his house. Nkechi was listening from the room. Amaka panicked and ran to her sister. She assured her to relax, and Nkechi said, "It's time to tame Mazi." Amaka, "Tame Mazi?" Amaka asked. "Yes, Amaka. Can't you see that he's already suspecting something? Moreover, as it is going now, Amaka, if you don't do something about Mazi, he will look for every means to bring Uloma back, and he will stop at nothing to find out what happened to Uloma. Amaka, when he does, you will be in hot soup," Nkechi said. Then Amaka asked, "Me, hot soup? Why me? Are we not in this together? Sister, were you not the one who led me into all this?" Nkechi answered her and said, "Wait oh, are you trying to blame me for helping you secure your marriage? Don't forget that I got you into this marriage when no man was interested in you. Now you are being ungrateful. You know what? I think I have overstayed my welcome. First thing tomorrow morning, I'm leaving for my husband's house, abeg," Nkechi concluded angrily. At this point, Amaka knelt down and started begging her. "Please, sister, I am sorry. I never meant it that way. Please forgive me. You can't leave me like this now." So Nkechi asked her to get up and said, "Prepare, tomorrow we are going to Baba." The next morning, they went back to Baba, and immediately he saw them, he asked them what brought them back again. Nkechi told him, but he said, "I hope you know that he who brings infested firewood home should be ready for lizard invasion into his home." He gave Amaka a portion and told her to add it to Mazi's food. They paid, thanked him and left. The next morning, Amaka prepared one of Mazi's favorite food. Then she added the portion and set his food. When Mazi saw his food, he was so happy. He praised Amaka and then said that at the sight of the food, he was reminded of Uloma's food. This statement got Amaka so angry, but she hid her emotions. After this is the last time he will ever know his left or his from his right. She said to herself, "Eat and start doing my bidding." Then she smiled and excused herself to the room. As Mazi was about to start eating, Amaka's son walked in.